Yeah. So I'm on the way home from Dallas. Almost got to Fort Worth tonight. Yeah. So I'm just finding my way right this moment. And I think I I went the right way. Lucky me. Um, yep. Getting on Interstate 30. Coming out of Dallas, where I was with the class a lot, where T's ashes were spread in 1985, June 19th. I wasn't present for that experience, but there were, I think, 4 students that were. So those are the 4 students that Doe said were
There are police reported ahead.
yeah, I'm not just paying attention to what's going on the road here. I get off at exit 70. Anyway, so I like to, maybe, but so I don't wear the harmonicas out because, they're hard to fix.
There are police reported ahead.
Process. Be the process. I don't know if that, the idea of being the process. In the beginning, Tiendo, some of the first words I heard was that this was a process. So it was called the process. In a sense, but we didn't really talk about it like that, because when we talked to other people about it, we're talking about the material. Well, we were talking about the process, but not a lot. Sorry. I got to get off. So I'm losing my train of thought. Not yet, though. 1.2 miles. I can't miss this exit. But I was thinking about, for everybody, I think, I could be wrong, but I think everybody is that wants something, and when it's the Tiendo process, just as valid a state of mind as any other process relative to the human kingdom. And part of the process is that you're not judging other people's process and trying to hold other people to the process, the choices in that process, what to do, what not to do, how to think, how not to think. I mean, what be true to yourself, and recognize a bunch of other people, a lot of other people, a real lot. And that there's all kinds of, Kathy's been exploring this like crazy. And she goes after something when she goes, and it's beautiful actually. And she's learning about all the different systems different influencers have, and like a hierarchy of the. You all know this, but what I'm talking about. I don't know what about the moderators. That moderators are just added to a channel to to encourage them to feel like they're part of something, part of that effort. And I imagine there's a world of people that were moderators and then they lose their moderation status. And there's probably all kinds of, I guess, competitions for that. But anyway, there's all kinds of things going on, of course. And I think the best advice I could give to anybody is be true to yourself. Don't give in to the pressures. Comparisons with others. You can get ideas, but I think I'm talking like I know this is the way it is, but I know because that's a fault of mine to have to sound that way. I don't like the way that sounds. Because I don't know. That's the fact. At any given moment, we're all maybe doing that battle in one shape or form between negatives and positives, right? Interpretation of thoughts and actions, and I don't normally do much evaluation of what I did before, and think about, I mean, I know there's lots of things that I feel like I could have done better. I feel like I know I could have done better, but I didn't choose to. But I didn't choose to, you can boil it down to that, like the way Jesus taught, is that forgive them, Father, for you know not what they do. They know not what they do. In other words, if you knew better at the time, then you wouldn't have made that choice. And I feel that way about what led up to my leaving the classroom. Many times in public. And it's on my blog. If anybody wants to see a bunch of it, it's Sawyer HG, like in Heaven's Gate, .wordpress.com. So, I don't know what else. I had some things I posted on my Facebook page. So everything's a work in progress, but of course, that's the way it is. That's the human kingdom. That's why it's the position against suicide that Tian Do and crew took. That includes me. Now that I'm a human, because what makes us not human is our overall it's the separation from the older members in mind. And so if you have them on your minds, then you're less separate from them. You can say, well, that's brainwashing, isn't it? I mean, because leading up to that, then you'd be one with them eventually, right? By logic, if you keep on pulling on that mind. And I think that's true. But they don't make it easy. Because they allow all the reasons not to. Protect us. And it's even automatic not to look to their mind directly. As directly as we can. Except if we're doing it by rote, like the religious do a lot of times. And they're always talking about, in every Mass, they're talking about holy, holy God and all that stuff. All that bunch of baloney. So we've got these phony facsimiles, not even good facsimiles of the next level. The religions, all the pomp and ceremony and all that stuff it's fun. Yeah, I can see doing it for fun. But everything has its meaning. The meaning of this artifacts, the Shroud of Turin, which T laughed about, saying that they're worshiping the snot rag from Jesus. And that wasn't making fun of Jesus. That was saying that's what that was. If it was what they say it was. It was wiping his face of sweat and whatever else was coming out of his pores. He had a way of being very direct and to the point. But I never saw her harsh. I saw her cry when Dan Sodi was having problems with being attracted to classmates. And T had a meeting in a tent when we had big tents for meetings of 50 people or more. Actually, about 100 at one point. But anyway, at this meeting, I just remember seeing T sitting in the chair that she and Doe would sit at, two different, like, they were a little taller chairs than ours, so they could see everybody. Not because they were elevating themselves above anybody. Even that's what was also apparent to me the entire time. Thank goodness. I still retain that recognition, because everything can be lost. If we don't use it, we lose it. Now, how do we use it? Spread our goodwill. Be magnetic. Let your magnetism find its way. That tells you that you can't do it is wrong. But we each decide, I believe, I don't know. That's the way I think about it. I keep on having the process as keywords. what did they mean by the process? I should describe a human individually. One person, you can't do it as a group. Goes through actual physical and mental changes. So much so that if they continued the process to completion by staying the course and not giving up, is basically what that means. Like I gave up. But even if you've given up, if you stay the course of the intention and ask for help to be of better service, I believe the next level doesn't turn us away. And I don't believe it's a wager. It's like, well, then if I want to continue this or use this substance or you know, is that like I'm saying, well, God, I can't give it my all right now, so can I make a deal to where I get to have my humanness and eat it too, so to speak? And yeah, I guess I do that. But I'm not worried about it. Maybe I should be worried about it. A member offered me, which I didn't do. So it's like I had two things that I didn't do, or three even. Okay, looks good. I'm still on the right path because it doesn't leave this road. Just gotta be careful and not speed, which I've been going beneath the speed limit the whole way. Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. That's a big thing. Also, tenacity is a next level characteristic. Tensile strength is another one. You know, it's like the mind, you know, learns to reject the things that are the negatives. Judging self and letting that cripple us to where, you know, you don't know if this feels right, you don't know if that's right, you know, and I don't know, I keep on going back to that, I'm sorry. Smoke shop. Well, and he had just gone through, he crashed his truck for the second time, and he was about to lose his girlfriend of 4 or 5 years together. and he was drinking all the time, and operating heavy machinery at his job. But it was almost so normal for him to be in that, so he probably has a high tolerance built up. Taking like 2 of those shots that they provide at the gas station that are 50% alcohol. That's what he said. I don't know what they are. I haven't used them. And every 2 hours on his job, he got a 15-minute break, and he would go to that gas station and get 2 more shots. So he was basically like, in that buzz. He had that buzz on from that plus vaping, from morning to night. I didn't talk to the individual about T&O at all. I said to him, I said that asking God for help is, of course, in my opinion, the greatest step. But it comes with wanting to make changes in the things that have gotten us into and want to get out of it. And so by experience, we learn what it takes to stay away from the things that dragged us down before. We'll be driving back to call from Dallas on 30 in a few months. Yeah, don't know where we're going to be in a few months. I guess that would be January, February. That guy was really going slow. I'm going over the causeway of the lake. Okay, so let's see. So that's what, I don't know, well, if you keep up with these streams, well, I don't know that you can do that, but, we're around this area. I'm open to that. You can send me an email to and Kathy and I both get that. So let's, what I wrote in the Facebook post, about that, relative to those teachings and relative to what happened before with, talking about the Noriega and, in tape 477. Oh no, it's 447. I just did a dyslexic thing, I think. 447. Where Doe talks about a little bit about how well, that's my last live stream. But since I brought it up, I guess, how the government of the United States had been very in bed with, one of the exports. And they're just trying to control who gets the money for it. That becomes the cartels. And we have the cartel here in the United States. Right now it's Trump. Trump and company, I call him. I can see what he's doing in some ways is like he's making focus and everything. So he's so that if anyone goes, if the judges, the national judges start, filing lawsuits and objections and, against everything like they've been doing, all the district judges, you can just tie it up in the courts. You know what I mean? It's like, so the court cases go through and they talk about it and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he's already done 3 more things. Yeah, I don't think that it, it is, the courts are the third part of government. So, I mean, how else do you control a dictator? Well, we've got a dictator. Yeah, so he's a king. So is he a king that if Iran killed any of the protesters, they were going to have a big problem? That doesn't mean I like Donald Trump, but the next level is in charge here. Oh, okay. Police car there with lights on, but not the emergency lights. Okay, I'm on the right track still. From what I already felt like 80% of the country would choose, or more. Because they don't see the money. I mean, maybe some of it, but if the rich people are, buying stuff and you happen to be producing something that the rich people want, then yeah, you benefit from it. That's the way it works in the society, right? So business can do well. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that, but, oops. That's good that it has that notification. Okay, folks, I'm almost home. So, I should recognize that those lights there is when I'm getting close. Except I can't see those because of the bushes in that direction. Yeah, this is a bumpy road. So, well, folks, I don't have anything else I can start to talk about, so let me see if there's anything in the chat. Well, I'm going so slow. Said hi. Yes, LAR. Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. Hey, I am in downtown Dallas. Oh, he was downtown there at the time. Huh, that's funny. I didn't catch that part from Manly. Yeah. Rover Top Info. Hello. Quattro Rosa La Quinta Un Eagle. Isija. I don't know how to speak much Spanish. That's what it sounds like to me. Español. Poquito español. Mucho poquito español. Wow, that dog was close to the car. Come on, doggy. Go away. Wow, he stayed with me for a while there. I don't want them running by the tires. Sometimes they try to bite the tires and get themselves, their head run over. I guess that's the programming of like, how a coyote fought wolves and things, right? Disable them, bite them on the leg. Oh boy. All right, so I'm home. So good night, folks.